Hello, Sage here for Kalkine Media. Welcome to another edition of the exciting Executive Corner Show, Expert Talks. In this edition, I'll be shining a light on Boab Metals Limited. And the best way to find out about what they do is to sit down with the Managing Director and CEO himself. Simon, thanks so much for joining us today.
Hello, Sage. Yep, thanks for having me.
Great. Well, Simon, let's jump straight in and make the most of our time with you. Boab is into the exploration and development of lead and silver, both important for the green and sustainable future. Watch this space. How do you see the lead-based battery industry evolving in the near to mid-term, please?
Yeah, look, it's an interesting one. I think lead's often forgotten about when it comes to the conversation around batteries, but look, lead plays a very significant part in this shift to a cleaner future, and certainly in the battery space, with sort of 70% of the world's rechargeable energy still coming from lead. And importantly, the lead battery market is a growing market, not a shrinking market. Obviously, we see other new battery metals, their growth is exponential, but the lead battery market has been around for a very, very long time, and it's still very much the go-to battery for uninterrupted power, and so things like telecommunications towers, hospital backups, the safety systems on electric vehicles are generally controlled with electric batteries as well. Lead batteries. So, yeah, absolutely an important part to play as we move forward.
Thank you for summing that up for us. It sounds like very exciting work that you're doing, and especially at this time during what's been called as somewhat of the minerals super cycle in some way. So Boab recently commenced phase 6 of the drilling campaign over its flagship Sorby Hills Project. Could you please share with us the main objectives of the program?
Yeah, sure. Look, no problem. So yeah, look, the latest drilling campaign has recently commenced, and that's outside of the work that what we're doing on the Definitive Feasibility Study at the moment. So this particular phase of drilling will look at life expansion opportunities, and particularly increasing the category of resources that we have at one of the deposits, which is beta. And that's, we see that sort of coming in at the back end of our mine life currently. So it's important to increase confidence around that. So it's those sort of opportunities. There is quite an exciting seismic target that we've got as well within the mining package, which we'll test with this round of drilling. But generally, as a whole, it's looking at sort of life extension opportunities.
Great. Well, thanks for sharing that. I mean, you make it sound easy, but there's a lot of work involved with getting these studies out. A lot of boxes have to be ticked. And I think it's part of the way through the process. It's not right at the beginning of the process. You're kind of in the middle of the chain of events. Is that correct? Once you're at the feasibility study?
Yeah, look, we produced a pre-feasibility study 2 years ago now. And I've been working pretty hard over the last couple of years at putting together a final feasibility study with a view to targeting an investment decision on the project. So we're getting towards the back end of that now. A great deal of work's been done. It's obviously challenging time to be putting studies together and looking at developing a project, but the work we've done over the last 4 years with this project, I think, ensures we've got ourselves a mine. We've obviously got some challenges with inflationary costs at the moment, which is affecting all developers. Especially those in the resources at the moment. We've got we're faced with pretty significant increases in shipping and steel, labour, all those sort of things, fuel as well being the main ones. But we're starting to see those settle down a little bit now, and looking forward to finishing off the feasibility and hopefully moving on to start building a mine.
Yes, great. Sounds like all the hard work will hopefully be paying off soon. The Definitive Feasibility Study, or DFS for short, is nearing completion, as you just mentioned. And the PFS study of 2020 confirmed some robust project economics. You've mentioned some of the capital expenditure costs that you'll be needing to cover. What could the shareholders expect from the DFS result, please?
Yeah, look, I think what's sort of happened over the last couple of years is, we set about additional drilling post the PFS with a view to hopefully building and justifying a bigger operation. Look, we've had great success with the drill bit. That's been pretty clear of the results that we've put out there, and so that's what we're targeting. A DFS with a bigger scale project, and that's what we intend to deliver. So that's where what we're targeting. Obviously, as you move from a pre-feasibility to a definitive study, you look to sort of firm up that some of the assumptions that were made in the PFS, and reduce overall risk with the project, and further define the metrics. And as I say, much of that work is done. There's still a fair bit to go over the next couple of months, but we're certainly making great progress.
Yeah, it's all for such a good cause as well. I mean, thanks to silver's great electrical properties, it's used in solar cells and electronic components of electric vehicles across the world. We're already seeing huge shifts towards EVs, and hopefully Australia will be following suit, shortly. But what is your take on the silver market in the near to mid-term, please? Yeah,
look, I think that all good points. One thing I will add as well, silver's not just used in the circuit boards of electric vehicles. Of course, it's within internal combustion vehicles as well. So it has a role. It is one of the world's best conductors, and so any circuit board generally will contain parts of silver. In addition to that, you've obviously got the increase in demand on the industrial side with solar panels. We're seeing that sort of shift from silver being typically known as a store of wealth, and generally you sort of see dramatic increases in both gold and silver in times of uncertainty. But with silver, you've got this sort of really increasing industrial demand as well. So it's an interesting metal to be in. It represented about 25% of the revenue in the pre-feasibility study. What we think are pretty conservative price assumptions as well. So I think it's an exciting time to be around silver.
Absolutely. So coming back to the project dynamics, Sorby Hills Project has been generating significant interest in the market. Are there any offtake discussions on the cards, please? And what are the potential markets Boab's planning to target for its product?
Yeah, look, absolutely. We've announced recently that we will look to I guess seal the offtake deals that we've been working on now for quite some time. We'll likely announce those just after we release our definitive study, and that gives us the opportunity then to look closely at any financing options that come along with those offtake deals. As far as the markets for the product, look, Australia is the second largest producer of lead. So there are smelting operations in Australia as well, which gives us the opportunity to retain some of the product here. Naturally, China is the biggest market there for the product. We have a joint venture partner which will be taking 25% of the product from Sorby Hills on the back of the unincorporated joint venture we have with them. So look, there's plenty of opportunities both here and overseas for the product.
Great. Well, you're well positioned in Western Australia, one of the most minerally rich areas of the world. What is your course of action after the DFS?
Yeah, look, I guess looking past the DFS, we will, as I mentioned before, we'll look to get offtake sealed, and then move quickly to hopefully that final investment decision, and obviously finalising debt arrangements that we've been working on for some time now. So it's really all sort of pivotal on that, getting that DFS completed so that we can go on and tick the boxes and hopefully get to a final investment decision sooner rather than later.
Sounds good. I've heard with a lot of mining sector companies that they're just so relieved that those delays caused by COVID and supply chains are kind of being alleviated and things are finally getting a move on. Was your company affected by that in any way?
It was, yeah. Look, I guess the size of our company at present, as you work your way through a study before you build that owner's team to move into operations, you're very reliant on consultants. And we've sort of, I guess, seen COVID come through Western Australia. We've seen businesses sort of crippled, and so it's not just about our business and the employees with COVID. We've seen effects from all of our consultants and contractors, and yeah, that's absolutely had a significant impact on the timing of our study, particularly, and just trying to drum up interest from contractors to go through that pricing stage with a view to a future contract. It's been challenging because these companies that don't have people available, everybody's busy. Whilst the last 4 or 5 months have been very challenging in the market, it comes on the back of some pretty buoyant times for the mineral industry. So most of the contractors in the industry are very busy.
That's right. Well, thank you so much for sharing what you do at Boab Metals with us today. We really appreciate your insights. Before we wind up the discussion, was there anything you'd like to share with us?
No, I don't think so. Look, thanks for your interest, and watch this space. We've got a busy few months coming up.
Absolutely. We'll be happy to connect with you again with more big news when you have it ready for us.
Thank you, Sage.
Thank you, Simon. And if you were watching out there, that was Simon Noon. He's the Managing Director and CEO at Boab Metals Limited. And if you missed any part of that chat, you can catch the full interview at the YouTube channel, Kalkine Media. So make sure you subscribe. This is Sage reminding you to please stay apprised and invest wise with Kalkine Media.